Ba 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 ba. It's the Hungry Hornet coming to you from the Hornet 750. Woo! Insert Ric Flair meme. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, the hungriest of Hornets, and today's video is about travelling long distance on your motorcycle and how you can maximise your time in the saddle. Yes, I like doing these long distance videos. I like tips and tricks on long distance. It's pretty simple really. Tips and tricks wise for long distance and maximising your time in the saddle is all about confidence. Well, actually no, it's not. It's about comfortability. How comfortable can you get on this motorbike during long distance travel? Well, simple really. You should buy a Goldwing and you just rest up in that armchair that is a Goldwing. Oh, lovely, 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 lovely. Or you can get something like that man has over there, which is an adventure bike. Or you can have something like this, which is a Hornet. And I have travelled the breadth and the length. I've travelled the length of France on this. I've travelled the breadth of England on this as well. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. You're looking at a well-taught individual, a well-cultured, a well-endowed individual, the Hungry Hornet. Yes, he has been places, he has seen places, he's met people, he's part of high society on his motorbike. Look at me, la-di-da, yes. Congratulations if you made it this far in the video and you haven't switched off. It's pretty simple really. When it comes to travelling long distance on one's motorcycles, you need to think of two things. How often are you going to stop? There's micro stops and then there's nice long stops. Now, both of them have their advantages and disadvantages. Micro stops can be quite difficult to basically get the maximum amount of benefit out of. Like a micro stop, you're stopping for 5 minutes. Quick stretch, have a vape if you vape, have a smoke if you smoke, have a nice breath of fresh air if you're a clean lunged individual, and then you get back going again. Boom! On the bike. Now you can do that quite often, and that does, it's got its benefits. Basically, you don't end up taking as long. And a long stop can actually have a detrimental effect on your long distance riding, because you think, oh, I'll stop here for some lunch, and then you spend an hour just frolicking about. You pick something on the menu and you think, oh, you know what, I fancy a bit of wine, and that's it, you're stopping over, baby. That's how it happens, right? So be careful with a long stop on a long distance motorcycle ride. You've got to be very careful, because it can come and bite you in the caboose, in the butt, in the anus. It can really bite you, because you think, oh, I've got just got this urge to just stay on, especially if you're abroad. I mean, the services here in England are shit, so you want to get out of them as quick as possible, but the services in places like France, Germany, Italy, Portugal, all those places, they're just fucking nice, aren't they? It's you get restaurants there, and you get croissants if you're in France, you get nice coffee, and then all of a sudden it's usually quite nice, a nice little seating area, and it's just really nice. It's just oh, I like that, I want to stay there, I want to stay there, bruv, I want to stay there, bruv, I want to be there forever. And then before you know it, you're fucked. You spent too fucking long on your fucking stop, on your rest stop. You've spent too fucking long on it. Then you're fucked. You're tired now, aren't you? You're fucking tired, aren't you? I can see. You don't want to go anymore, do you? No. So you got to mix it up. Micro stop, long stop. Now, what are the average times, do you reckon, is the best to stop on a long journey? Let's pretend I'm not doing circles around my local area to film content, and let's pretend that we're going we're going somewhere now. Like, that's right. Okay, so we've got, like, you know, the sat nav's up, so it's in the quad lock. Doosh! There you go. Right, we're dialed in. Boop, 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 boop. We're dialed in, buff. Right, we're off to fucking Croydon. All right, it's a 3-hour journey. We're off to see the sunny side of Croydon. We're off to Wolverhampton. Lucky us. Woo! Let's go. Right, so we've got 4 hours. Right. Obviously we're going on the M5 and then the M6 and then, like, probably the M42 and then something else. Right, we're doing something like that. I don't know. Right, we're doing something like that. A lot of rest stops, a lot of opportunities to rest, and long stretches of road are boring as fuck. Right, so you just get it's like, oh, you know, oh fuck's sake, and then you dip into the middle, overtake this lorry and dip back in, and it's just boring, mate. Yeah, whereas, like, a stretch of road like this is quite fun, isn't it? Look at it, it's quite fun, you know. And by fun I mean, like, there's stuff going on, it keeps you engaged. So you got to look at the road you're traveling on as a big part of that decision process of how often are you going to stop. Because if it's a twisty road, then you know, chances are you're going to get quite tired, but you'll be engaged. Yeah, you'll be engaged. I could ride roads like this for hours. Yeah, a long stretch of motorway, not so much. They suck they suck your soul, and not in a good way. You know, they suck your soul, bruv, and they will literally decimate every fibre of your being. They'll make you feel like shit. They'll make you question why you're alive, and they'll even make you question whether it's worth getting to that destination, especially if it starts raining, bruv. You'll be like, fuck this. But if you're on the road like this, you're like, fuck it, you know. And if you're abroad, it's usually a little orange stand somewhere around here that you can stop off for a nice fresh orange. You know, it's all part of the game, bruv. It's all part of the game. You've got to stay locked in, bruv. So, to put it bluntly, make sure you are very aware of the road you're travelling, and then decide what your distance is going to be until you stop. Like, for me, I like to go an hour and a half on a motorway, and I'll stop and I'll just, you know, have a coffee. Yeah, but if I start feeling it after, I don't know, 40 minutes, I'll stop as well, mate. There's no hard and fast rule. The only problem is I have raced, and I mean raced against the time frequently. Every time I go to France, I take the Le Chateau, and it's always a panic. So I've got to be there by 4:15, and then, you know, I've left far too late, you know, and I've taken too many stops, and then before you know it, you're late, and then you're fucked. You know, it can have a detrimental effect. So stopping too much can actually make you more tired, I think, as well. So to summarize this incredibly informative videotape, it is wise to make sure that you balance the scales of resting by looking at what time you got to be there, figuring out, is this a stressful ride? Have I got to be there? Have I got to be? Because sometimes the looming thought of having to be somewhere is tiring enough, you know. Some of you might have seen, you know, previous videos where I've had to travel up to, I don't know, the ass end of the north just to go on a course or just to fill a shift in. So I leave, it takes me 6 hours, and then I got to do a night shift. It's like, that's terrible. But I'm used to doing that now. You know, would I recommend that's how you should expend your leisurely time? No, don't be like me. It's not worth it, bruv. There's more to life than chasing that, you know, that ETA on Waze, alright? There's more to life than that, you know. And this tractor is pissing me off. What's he doing? He's so fucking slow. Is he turning into the farm shop? Is he? No, he's not. So is he gonna like let us overtake him? Because this is getting a bit tedious, mate. Here he is turning. He's turning up there. It looks like a hopper. Ooh, are you quite cute? Right. Anyway, so yes. So long distance. How often should you stop? As much as you like. But if you stop too much, you know, all of a sudden you're going to regret it, because you're going to get there later. You'll be more tired in the long run. So it's a balancing act. So tips for stopping. Always stretch the hammies, stretch the bummy, and stretch the tummy. That's what I say. Keep your core stretched, keep your clothes tight. So if it's raining and windy, make sure that your fastens on your gloves and all that, and these bits here are tight, because the last thing you want is wind creeping up your arm. It's horrible. It makes you feel tired. It makes you feel cold. Coldness, tiredness, not a good thing. Okay. private road, farm access only. I don't know, we could test that. And make sure you are watertight, airtight. Make sure you're stretching your tummy, your bummy, and your neck and all that sort of stuff. You know, make sure you're continuously stretching, because the last thing you want to do is get back on the bike and you're stiff as a board. Motorcycling can make you feel quite stiff. Make you feel really stiff, trust me, you know. And not in a good way. You're gonna feel stiff, you're gonna feel dead, you're gonna feel like, I don't like this. All right, so bear that in mind. You know, stretching, stay hydrated, and stay focused. You know, the moment you start wandering off during your ride, it's time to stop, no matter what. You know, and you know, I've not actually come across this situation yet, but I can imagine if you're feeling too tired and you know you can't go on, you might need to get a permanent stop for the night. You know, it's the same with driving. You know, doing something as intensive as driving / riding for a continuous amount of time can be quite challenging. So it's mentally taxing and it's physically draining. So bear that all in mind when you decide to go on a long trip. Okay, so to summarize this incredibly informative video, make sure you plan your stops accordingly. Make sure you follow the 1 to 1.5 hour rule. Make sure you incorporate your rest stop with a fuel stop, or if you know that you're going to be traveling for a long distance, you treat yourself to a cheeky fuel stop as a rest stop, and use those 5 minutes where you're filling up and crying about how much it's going to cost you as a nice opportunity to reflect on whether this is the correct way to live your life. That's all very valid things. And make sure obviously you remain concentrated and hydrated. So all the hydrated, yes, hydrated, concentrated, hydrated. Remain all those things, please. And above all, please remain subscribed and please liked this video, and remember to share it with your friends. Thank you for all your support recently, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I read all the comments and I definitely try to respond to the ones, to all of them, apart from the trolls. I don't respond to them, I just laugh and think I'm still so much cooler than you. Look at me on my bike. you keyboard warrior. Namaste. I've been the Hungry Hornet. You've been incredible. And remember, stretch those tummies and those hummies and those bummies for your long trips ahead. Ta-ta!